You're watching King 5 News.
New video was just released earlier today showing immigrant dreamer Daniel Medina being arrested in Des Moines. Good evening, I'm David Espinosa Hall.
And I'm Amanda Grace. It comes as attorneys appeared before a judge today seeking Medina's immediate release. We do begin with King 5's Heather Graff.
That video was shot by the older brother of 23-year-old Daniel Ramirez Medina, who can be seen running after his sibling as ICE agents take Daniel away.
They're taking my brother just because he didn't want to say anything. They have a warrant for my dad, but they're still taking my brother with him for no reason at all.
ICE told us they first showed up at the apartment in Des Moines looking for the father of Daniel Ramirez Medina, who ICE agents say was a previously deported felon convicted of drug trafficking. But while at the family's home, agents took Daniel into custody after he told them he was born in Mexico. ICE agents later determined he'd been given a reprieve from deportation under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program known as DACA.
They woke us up. They're taking my brother. For no reason at all. For no reason, they're taking my brother.
It's worth pointing out Daniel's 24-year-old brother who shot this video is also a DACA recipient, and he was not taken into custody. The brother has not yet spoken publicly, but he told me yesterday that he is very eager to share his side of the story when the time is right, and hopefully in court. Heather Graff, King 5 News.
And tonight, Daniel Ramirez Medina remains in custody at the Northwest Detention Center, but the legal battle is only beginning. A federal court judge has decided the issue of his custody should go before an immigration court judge within the next week. But there is still a larger case that his attorneys would like to go back before federal court in Seattle.
The judge recognized today that this case is important beyond this case. And so we're hoping that we can get the courts to establish standards to protect everybody from being snatched from their homes when they've done nothing wrong.
Attorneys argue Daniel Ramirez Medina, a DACA recipient, is being unlawfully detained. He was taken into custody last week during an operation targeting his father, a previously deported felon, according to ICE. In court paperwork, officers describe Ramirez as a self-admitted gang member. His attorneys deny that.
The future of policing is the focus tonight here in Seattle. Our city is where law enforcement from really around the nation are meeting for a three-day conference. Live with more on this gathering that's bringing together 200 police chiefs and sheriffs is King 5's Natalie Swaby.
Yeah, and this is the first time for the event to be held here in Seattle. And earlier today, this event, which is for the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, earlier today, Seattle Police posted on their Twitter page one outcome: Starbucks announcing 100 Coffee with a Cop events in their U.S. stores. This is just one piece of a bigger plan to better connect with the community.
It's about to go down, man.
Disperse immediately.
This is archived video from a time when racial tension was high and Police Commander Andre Anderson was given a challenging assignment.
I felt like I could do some things to ease the tension, but I had no idea I would get the call.
The call to step in as interim police chief for the Ferguson Police Department. He started the job shortly before the one-year anniversary of the 2014 shooting when Officer Darren Wilson killed Mike Brown. The officer was legally vindicated, but the city was still raw with emotion.
When I really thought there was a big difference is when I saw the police officers responding to the area where Mike Brown was shot and killed, and they were actually helping people in the community. And once that started taking place, I knew that I was on the right track.
He spent 5 months working in that department and now is among law enforcement sharing lessons learned at a conference in Seattle. It's being hosted by NOBLE, the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement. Seattle Assistant Police Chief Perry Tarrant is the president of that organization, and recently he met with President Trump's transition team.
From our perspective, the only way to keep that conversation moving forward is to make sure that, number one, NOBLE stays engaged in those conversations. Number two, stays vigilant, and we are paying attention to how policing is occurring in every single community in our country.
And all day tomorrow, there will be sessions that focus on the future of policing. The event will close with a youth town hall meeting. Live in Seattle, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.